My sister, Taylor, has lied about multiple pregnancies.
Taylor provides no proof, there's nothing. In the spring, Taylor showed me the ultrasound telling me she was pregnant. I decided to throw her a baby shower.
She opened up gifts and she was happy and, oh my gosh, look at this, look at this.
4 days before Taylor's due date, she told us that the baby had the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck.
I asked if she was okay, and then I said, is she alive? And she said no.
I had a friend call the funeral home. The funeral home never received a late-term baby.
I cannot believe that she lied for the entire length of her pregnancy.
You say I said something to you that had a lasting effect on you. What was it?
Yeah, after we finished on stage, you know, and I stood up, you came up to me and you took my hand in your hands and you looked me in the eyes and you said, this is your opportunity to change and you should take it. And in my head, I thought, I'm gonna do it, you know? I'm gonna do it, like I have to, and this is a changing point for me. And that memory is just like never left, you know? Throughout the last couple years, through everything that's happened and everything that's changed, I've thought back so many times thinking like, even if it's silly, I wanna make Phil proud, you know, if he ever sees me again.
Well, I certainly am proud. And you know, you said that it was important to you that I did hold your feet to the fire and didn't let you lie, but also didn't judge you and treated you with respect, which was important to me for you to feel. So for that to have come through to you is important to me because that's what I wanted you to feel. You'd been judged enough.
I mean, I'm beyond grateful to you and for, you know, just treating me like a person and helping me change my life.
Well, I'm glad. And you're proud of it, right?
Yeah, it's really great that we don't have that hanging over our family anymore and that we don't have secrets and that there's healing and forgiveness and love.
And you've held on to that handkerchief, which is a good thing you can look at from time to time, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they did tell me about that.
Yeah, stained with the makeup of all the tears shed that day. And yeah, I do, you know, I keep it in like my drawer and, you know, I see it all the time. And when I look at it, I think about that day. And at first it was like, you know, it was hard because I was thought, you know, did I do okay? Did I, you know, but now I see it and I'm like, I'm so glad that I got that turning point in my life, you know? Like, I'm so thankful for that.
I'm proud of you for doing that. I'm still proud of you today.
Thank you.
And Janene, thank both of you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank both of you.
Our 12-year-old daughter, Aneska, holds our whole family in a constant state of crisis.
Stupid idiot!
Aneska is explosive, violent, aggressive. She doesn't respect authority.
Knock it off. Wow.
You're not taking me, so I don't care!
Aneska feeds off of negative energy. None of us know when she's gonna blow.
When that happens, you do not want to be in my room.
Aneska chased her 2 siblings around with a knife. She got into a bird's nest, killed the baby birds.
Violence makes me feel comfortable. It's just a bad situation.
If we continue living in this type of chaos, foster care is an option for Aneska.
Well, Aneska is now 18 years old. Aneska, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Tell me, where did you see your life heading before you and your parents came to meet me?
Honestly, I'd be in jail or I'd be dead.
And tell me, how are you doing now?
I am doing great. I've held a job for 3 years. I have a great relationship with my mom and my dad, and as well as my siblings too. And I'd just like to thank you too.
Well,
because if it wasn't for you, God knows what would have happened.
Well, all the work was put in by you, and I couldn't be more proud of you. And thanks for giving us an update. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Cameron, he was a great athlete.
Cameron was the golden boy.
Now, Cameron is addicted to heroin, hydrocodones, Xanax, clozapines.
Cameron has driven under the influence many times.
He's been arrested 7 times.
I'm not a nice person on Sunday.
When Cameron was 19 years old, he was diagnosed with the first stroke.
I had liver failure, kidney failure, and a stroke.
He had lost well over 100 pounds and had gone from an athlete to skin and bones.
I want to be real clear. If he continues to do what he's doing, this boy's going to be dead. D-E-A-D, dead. Enabling's not a big enough word for what you're doing, is it?
No, sir.
You've driven him to get drugs.
Yes, I have.
You have no idea how far I'm willing to go to get him off drugs. And if you get in the way, I'll run right over your ass.
You saw someone stabbed?
I stabbed somebody. I got him under the armpit with a knife about that big. Bow! And he fell to the ground.
No, I did not know that.
Did not know that. Let's assume that you don't kill yourself with drugs. What do you think you're gonna do?
I don't know what I would even like anymore. I haven't been sober long enough.
What if you're wrong, that your dreams have not all been taken away from you? Wouldn't it be tragic if you never took a look? Would you like my help in taking a look?
Yeah, I'd love it.
How good does it feel to walk out to the applause and folks cheering you like they used to when you played sports?
It's a great feeling. I didn't think I could reach this point. Just gaining my confidence back and being able to do this 2 years later is crazy to me.
And there's nothing easy about it, but I think being an athlete is something that really can generalize to every part of your life, where you just dig in and say, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get down there and do what it takes to go that extra mile.
And I used a lot of that athleticism I had into getting clean, because I don't give up. I've never been the type to give up. And I wasn't gonna give up on this addiction.
Yeah.
I just had to find a way and mostly get my family thing, my dynamic with my family right.
Yeah.
And that's helped me stay clean. I have a great relationship with my mom and dad now. You know, they don't enable me. I take care of all my own business, and it's all worked out.
Yeah, and you know, when you were here, you weren't sober, so your remembrance of this was a bit of a blur.
Yeah.
But the hardest thing was seeing your mother's reaction to the things that she learned that you were doing, and seeing the disappointment in her face, right?
Right.
That was tough.
Absolutely. I hate seeing my mom cry. It almost makes me cry now.
Yeah. And what do you see in her face when you look at her now?
She smiles. I mean, just giving me a hug, it's good. There's no complaints. She's so proud of me.
Yeah. And you haven't used drugs since you walked off this stage, true?
I have not touched anything.
I know you didn't want to come here, but where do you think you'd be if you had not?
Either in prison or dead. I wanted to die, honestly.
I want you to know that from the minute you walked on this stage, you were using your life just like you are right now today, and showing people that you can do this. There are millions of people watching this right now. It's either the addict themselves or the parents of an addict that are watching this and saying, you know what, my son can be sitting there one day, 2 years sober. They're watching this. You're using your life as you sit there right now today.
Absolutely, and that motivates me, that, you know, other people can see that and realize that, hey, my son can get clean, because I was at the bottom of the barrel. Not many people gave me a shot, you know. Yeah. No one thought I could stay clean.
I was glad to join that small circle. God bless you, and God bless you for coming back here and using your life again. All right, man. Thanks so much.
You can't tell me what to do. I don't care.
My family and friends, they call me Janene, the drama queen of the family.
What are you doing?
We tell her to do something, she doesn't do it.
When she comes home from school, it's immediate drama, immediate chaos.
You're not my boss.
I'm so frustrated and so angry, taking my slipper off and threatened to throw it. I'm losing the parenting battle. I'm at the end of my rope.
What's it do to you to see and hear her behavior with your wife?
It crushes me. She's 6 years old.
You guys are being inconsistent. You're assigning punishments in theory, but not in reality. Number two, this child needs to be made to feel special in some way. But one of the things that I recommend that you do with her is that you carve out some things that she doesn't have to share with the other two. That's her private relationship, her special relationship with the two of you.
Hey, Dr. Phil. Since my parents were on the show, I just recently graduated college,
and I am now going to start training to be a flight attendant for a main airline. Whenever anybody asks me for a fun fact or we play Two Truths and a Lie, I always tell them that I was featured on the Dr. Phil Show when I was a kid. And it's hilarious because actually no one ever believes me. My parents did take Dr. Phil's advice. Actually, parents made it a point to take me on individual dates, and I definitely think that it changed our relationship and helped us grow a lot. I sincerely appreciate all the advice that you gave my parents. Thank you, Dr. Phil.
Well, I'm glad parents actually took my advice, and congratulations on graduating from college. I mean, that's just so great to see. All right, we are celebrating Mother's Day.
I have one here for everyone in the audience. I love presents.
It's no wonder everybody likes you.
29 years ago, my dad was in an accident and was paralyzed. My mom took care of my father from that day on and never complained. 2 months ago, my father's condition finally caught up to him and he passed away in our arms. My mother is now working 2 jobs just to put me through school and pay our bills. Dr. Phil, can you do something special for my mother? Because God knows she deserves the very best.
Are you proud of this young man?
Yes, I am.
I know with your husband's recent death that you've just had to make a lot of sacrifices and you had to get rid of one of your cars. Well, Mercedes heard your story and they stepped up in a big way. Well, this car is coming home with you. Here we go. There you go. What do you think?
Beautiful. Thank you.
Come right over here. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Look at this.
Well, joining us virtually are Josie and her son Matt, who say the Mercedes was obviously fantastic, but being part of that show gave their family so much joy when they really just had none left and needed that boost. So Josie, Matt, good to see you both.
Good to see you as well. You've got us crying again 20 years later. So we wanted to take a moment and genuinely thank you. You both, and Robin, we know that you put together that show, changed our lives. We had nothing at that moment going for us, right? And when I wrote that letter, I had no idea the impact it had on our lives. And here we are again.
Thank you for doing that, and I appreciate it, and I'm still crying after 16 years.
Oh,
well,
Josie, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. You were so deserving. You still are. You look amazing, and it's so wonderful to see you and your son there together still today with those big smiles on your faces. I'm thrilled.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've heard so many people often say, Dr. Phil gets me instead of judges me. That's because I've climbed those hills in my own life. I grew up with love, but also with chaos in my home with an alcoholic father in a chaotic home. I just know, not because of some ivory tower intellectualism. You know, I have the degrees, the credentials, but life and all of you guests and staff have been my real education in learning what it takes. You know, 20 years here on Stage 29 have made me a better man, a better husband, a better father. And helping people find hope and purpose is satisfying beyond belief. High stakes, high pressure scenario every day. Pressure truly is privilege. It means you're engaged in issues of gravity, issues that matter. Getting to do all of this with Robin at my side, well, you know, some experiences just defy words. And to have a creative team here of over 200 people that have been led over the last 20 years by Carla Pennington, our executive producer, Angie Krause, John Perry, Astra Austin, Melissa Key, Justin Arlock, Sarah Cardin, and Lynn Hermstead, so many others, the tireless work ethic, the passion, the commitment to get the meaningful story, the meaningful experience for the guests long after they leave here. They are who make it all happen. It's about us, not me. It says Dr. Phil. It should say Dr. Phil and team. My respect and admiration for this team is what has driven me for 20 years. You know, Oprah said to me 20 years ago, before we started the very first show, she said, look, I know your situation and you can retire right now. You don't need to work another day. She was right, but something told me I needed to carry on, and it has been the most rewarding 20 years of my life. This is my world. So thank you for 20 years. And oh, by the way, I'm not done.
20 years of helping people.
I'm still crying after 16 years.
And changing lives.
Why do you think you get angry?
I was maybe born with it.
If it wasn't for you, God knows what would have happened.
Dr. Phil's 20th anniversary show. Check your local listings.